Hello guys, welcome back to the Boring House channel. I have another new video for you today and I hope you'll enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's go. The Story of Isaac Newton and Gravity. Chapter 1. The Solitary Scholar. In the autumn of 1665, the world was retreating in fear. The Great Plague was sweeping through London, turning the bustling, noisy metropolis into a ghost town. The University of Cambridge closed its doors to protect its students and faculty from the deadly pestilence. Among those packing their leather bags and fleeing to the countryside was a quiet, introverted 22-year-old scholar named Isaac Newton. Newton returned to his birthplace, Woolsthorpe Manor, a modest stone farmhouse in the rolling green hills of Lincolnshire. To anyone else, this sudden isolation might have felt like a prison sentence or a stagnant delay in their education. But for Newton, Woolsthorpe was a sanctuary. He was a young man who preferred the company of books, diagrams, and his own thoughts to the noisy banter of university dining halls. At Woolsthorpe, away from the rigid curriculum of Cambridge, Newton's mind was liberated. He transformed his boyhood home into a sprawling laboratory of the mind. He spent his days reading, conducting optics experiments by boring small holes into his window shutters, and filling leather-bound notebooks with complex mathematical equations. This period, spanning from 1665 to 1667, would later become known to history as his Annus Mirabilis, or the Year of Wonders. It was during this time of profound isolation that the modern world was born. Chapter 2. The Afternoon in the Orchard. It was a late summer afternoon in 1666. The heat of the day was beginning to wane, giving way to a cool, gentle breeze that rustled the leaves of the apple trees in the Woolsthorpe orchard. Exhausted from hours of intense mathematical calculations, Newton stepped outside into the garden to rest his tired eyes. He sat beneath the heavy boughs of a favorite tree, a flower of Kent apple tree, and let his gaze wander. The sky was clear, and a pale, ghostly outline of the moon was already visible in the daylight sky. As Newton sat in quiet contemplation, a sudden soft thud broke the silence of the afternoon. A ripe green apple had detached from its branch and fallen straight to the soft grass below. To anyone else, this was an entirely unremarkable, everyday event. Apples had fallen from trees since the dawn of creation. People ate them, stepped over them, or ignored them. But Newton's mind did not operate like other minds. He did not just see an apple fall. He saw a question manifest in physical reality. He stared at the apple resting in the grass, and then he looked up at the moon hanging in the distant sky. A profound, electrifying thought sparked in his mind. Why did that apple fall straight to the ground? Chapter 3. Deconstructing the fall. Newton began to break the event down with rigorous logic. Why did the apple not travel sideways? Why did it not float upward into the sky when it left the branch? Why did it always accelerate directly toward the center of the earth? The answer, Newton reasoned, was that there must be a drawing power, a pulling force, exerted by the matter of the earth itself. The earth was pulling the apple down. The tendency of matter must be to draw matter, Newton mused to himself. But Newton's genius did not stop at the boundaries of his garden. He looked back up at the moon. If this pulling force existed at the top of the apple tree, surely it didn't just stop there. What if it extended higher? What if it extended to the top of the highest mountains? And if it reached that far, what if it extended all the way into the heavens? What if this very same force that brought the apple to the dirt was the same force that held the moon in its orbit around the earth? Before Newton, the universe was divided into two distinct realms. The earthly realm was believed to be imperfect, chaotic, and governed by one set of physical rules. The heavenly realm, the stars, planets, and moon, was thought to be perfect, divine, and governed by entirely different mystical laws. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle had taught that celestial bodies moved in perfect circles simply because it was their divine nature to do so. Newton's sudden insight threatened to shatter this ancient division. He was proposing a terrifyingly beautiful idea. The universe was a single, unified entity, bound by the exact same laws of physics from the smallest grain of sand to the largest star. Chapter 4. The Geometry of the Heavens. To prove his radical hypothesis, Newton had to move from philosophical intuition to rigorous mathematical proof. He returned to his study, lit a single tallow candle, and began to work. He faced a massive hurdle. He imagined the moon orbiting the Earth. If there were no forces acting upon the moon, according to his own developing laws of motion, it would fly off into space in a straight line, escaping into the dark void. But the moon didn't fly off. It circled the Earth continuously. This meant the Earth was constantly pulling the